Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. Today I want to talk about copper motors. Copper motors are found in all appliances, all electronics. They come in all shapes and sizes. Okay, you've got this one that came from a washing machine. You've got some that come from compressors, some from microwaves. Okay, and they also come in different colors. You've got some that have the really nice brass bare bright look. You have some that have a coating on them. Okay, some have a reddish look. Okay, so these copper motors, I can bring them into a scrapyard as is. Okay, and there is a category for copper bearing motors. I don't like to bring them in like this, and the reason is because I get a lot more money if I take the copper out of these motors. It's very simple to do. And what I'm going to show you today is how to do that. I'm going to show you 3 different types of motors, the most common ones. It's very simple to do, just using a grinder, a kind of pry bar, okay? And I'm just going to let science do its work using leverage, okay, with my, my vise here. Okay, so first what I'm going to show you, and some of them actually you might not even know that these are as easy to take apart as they are. So put my safety glasses on. First one I'm going to show you actually, a lot of people don't see these ones, but this one is actually off of a microwave. It's on the bottom of the microwave. It turns the plate, okay? And on the bottom, okay, this is steel, okay? I could throw this into my copper bearing motor as is, but the steel here is just a plate. So if I took a screwdriver and pried that up, which I've already done on this one, this is the inside, okay? And there's still a small little steel plate, okay? But all I'm gonna do is take another screwdriver. I'm gonna pry this up. And now I have a coated, okay? So this is going into my steel. And I have a copper spool here. Okay, very easy. I'm actually just pulling it off with my hand right now for you. And it just unravels. Okay, make sure that you get all the plastic pieces off because it might snag on there. Okay, and I just pull it off. Make sure there's no plastic in it. Okay, so here is a nice piece of copper. Okay, it doesn't weigh a lot, but I can put it into a bag, and it definitely will add up in weight over time. Okay, so that is just off of a microwave. Take this glass off. Okay, that's the first one. The second one I'm going to show you is, this also is off a microwave. It's the fan. Okay, really nice piece of copper. It's got the fan on it. Okay, so it drives the fan to cool off the microwave. If I pull it out, which I've done here, there's a couple things. This will go into my steel bin. But this actually has some copper on here. Okay, so if I want to maximize my profit, all I actually have to do is take a piece of, a cutter, cut that, okay, and it just folds off. If I cut the other end. Okay, so not a lot of copper, but everything helps, it adds up. Okay, so that's just little pieces on there. What I really want to get to is the nice copper spool here. So all I'm going to do is put it into a vise, and it's actually connected right here. There are 2 spots. If I hit this with a hammer, this should pop out. And I've already done that. So there you go. So it popped out. Takes a couple hits. Okay, so now I have a nice spool. Inside of this, it's kind of, you can see, I'm going to pull this piece of steel out. Okay, this is going into my steel bin as well. There's a nice piece of copper. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sides. And I'm just going to unwrap all of this copper here. Okay, and I can go all the way, obviously. Sometimes it will snap, but that's all right, okay? And if I wanted to speed up the process, I could also just take my cutters and cut across, or go from the other end. It usually just slides down. Okay, of course, as I'm on camera here, it's a little bit slower process, but you know, it's not hard to do. And I'm trying to get all the copper that I can. It just unravels. And there you go. Okay, there are also, this is plastic, but these are nice brass tips, so I will take these coated brass prongs off and I'll put them in my brass bin. Okay, so again, there's some more copper. Okay, I'm gonna add it up into a spool. Okay, those are the smaller ones. And there's also another couple. These come off of different electronics. Okay, there was different types. I don't take the time to take the copper off here, but I'm sure if I was just to take a pair of pliers and cut the tip there, they should slide off, okay? But because these are so small, I might just throw these right into my copper motor bin. Okay, getting into the larger ones, the common ones you're gonna see are motors that have two prongs of copper. You're going to see ones that are surrounded with a big piece of steel and have copper around both sides. This is heavy, okay? So they are, and they do take that into consideration. That's why copper bearing motors are not worth as much, because the steel adds a lot of weight. So in order to get this, I'm gonna start with the smaller one, okay? And here's another one. So some of them have the 2 prongs, some of them have 4. First thing I do want to make sure I do is check and see if it is copper, okay? Because if it's not copper, it's not worth my time if it's aluminum, okay? Because aluminum is also a electrical conductor, okay? So sometimes the spools are made of aluminum. You can see that one is a copper coating or copper look, so that is copper. One that I've already done to show you is it looks like copper, but if I opened it, it's metallic, so this is actually aluminum. So I might, some people do throw these into their copper bearing motors if sometimes, you know, dishonestly. But technically this is not a copper bearing motor because it's not copper. Okay. The motors also have these inside of them, okay? These, because the copper is really tightly wound around this steel. Oh, that was good. Okay, here's another one. I am not going to take the time to cut this out. I'm going to leave this in. Okay, notice this one was a red. This is copper underneath, just some copper has a coating on it. Okay, so same thing. This one is a darker look. Okay, and so these ones, because they are darker, these would be classified. If I was to actually take out the copper, separate it, this copper would be a number 2 because it's coated. But I just throw all these in my copper bearing motors and they haven't said anything yet. Okay, so again, this is how it works, pops it out. So I'm gonna start with the 2 prong, okay? All I'm gonna do is I'm going to just take an angle grinder, I'm gonna cut down here, and I'm gonna cut down here. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it over and let my pry bar take it out using leverage, okay? So I'm gonna put this in the vise. Now, because I'm using a grinder, I want to make sure that I use heavier gloves. I use a visor as well. Some people just use safety glasses, but there are, anytime you're using a grinder, chances that some type of plastic or steel could fly off of here, so I don't want to take that chance. Now, the sparks did not come from the copper. Okay, the sparks actually came from the steel. It allows me to know once I've cut through, okay, because copper does not produce sparks. Okay, so all I'm doing, you can see this, pulling it up, one nice piece. There's the other one. Use the bench for leverage. And I could have actually just turned this around. Okay, it's cut through. There we go. Okay, so nice piece of copper here. As you can see, the clean look inside. Okay, this would go into my number 2 bin because there is a little bit of coating on that. This is going to go into my steel bin. So I still get money for my steel. I'm going to show you same concept. Okay, if I have a 3-sided or 4-sided, it's the same concept as I did with my 2. I would just cut across and pull it up. So I'll just show you very quickly. I'll just do one just to show you how easy it is. Sure I cut all the way through. Okay, yeah, cut all the way through. Which one was it? There it is. Okay, it's actually connected just a little bit through here with the other one, so I have to cut the other ones apart, but you can see, again, here's some more copper. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just wound it through. Again, because it's got a little bit of coating on it, this is number 2. Okay, and the last one, the one that's going to be worth the most money, actually I'll show you both these. This one, same concept, but there is tape around this. So before I actually cut it, I just take a knife and I just cut the wire. There's wire around that holds the plastic in. Okay, but it comes off very easy. It's very small cords. But I'm going to show you this one. Okay, this is off a compressor. All I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to cut around one side. Okay. This will pop off, and then I'm just going to take a punch, and I will punch the copper from the top, and the bottom should come out as well. Okay, so give me a second to set this up. Okay, I gotta make sure that I cut all the way through. Now, this one actually has an inner coating as well. Okay, and unfortunately my blade is not the actual size that I need for that, but regardless, all I would do is continue cutting it. I'm just gonna still, now that that is exposed, I'm just gonna take a punch and it should come out, so. My punch. Of course, it'd be good if I had my right tools. There we go. So all I'm just using is just a flat screwdriver. Okay. And I want to make sure that I go all the way around. And you probably can see it from the bottom that it is starting to slide out. There it is. Take this paper off so I can see. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. Okay, and again, it's still connected by these cords, okay? I am gonna have to cut those in order to get this copper out. But, let me see if I can just quickly go through. I need another type of screwdriver, because these are, the thinner they are, the closer knit they are. Well, okay, so as you can see, it is starting to come up. Okay, if I cut that wire, which I'm going to do, okay, and it releases it a little bit better. Okay, but here's just a good example, and it, again, it just comes up once I pull it out. Okay, I'll take it out. For the sake of time, I won't take it all out for you, but very simple. Okay, you just pry it out. Nice thing is this copper, again, is going to go into my copper. Copper right now is about $2.60 a pound Canadian. If I was to take this motor in as is, I think I'm looking at about 10 cents a pound. Okay, so it's probably about 5 pounds. Now, there is a lot of copper on here. I just kind of scoop it up. Okay, and it's very easy to crush into a ball. Okay, and I mean, it took me 20 minutes to do 3 motors. This one I might actually do on a separate video. I'm curious to see how much copper I can get out of this. But that is the easiest way to get the copper out. Okay, and if you don't think it's worth your while, okay, here's 2 examples. This is just copper wire from motors. Okay, this bag is 12 pounds and this bag is about 5 pounds. So do the math there. If there's, you know, 16, let's say 15 pounds there, you know, I'm looking at about $30 if it was $2 a pound, where if I had, you know, 20 pounds of motors, I might get $2. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Tin Man out.